you ready to do some math again? I hope so, because we've got plenty to do today. We're continuing with our lessons of fractions, and we're continuing with review. So your lesson again today is a worksheet, actually two of them, because it's a reteaching and a practice, just like what yesterday had. In all the PDFs that I sent you, you should have one that said, two sheets that say lesson 18.4 up in the top right-hand corner. And one of them says reteaching, and one of them says practice down in the bottom right-hand corner, okay? So grab the one that says reteach for lesson 18.4. If you look at the title, actually for both of these papers, it says practice with mixed numbers. We're gonna be adding and subtracting today fractions. The difference is that the fractions are mixed numbers, okay? They are ones that have a whole number with a fraction instead of just a plain fraction. This makes us have one more step that we need to do to solve it, but you've learned all of these things. We just have to put all the ideas together to solve these, okay? So on the reteaching one, we're gonna take a look at the example up at the top. It says 2 and 5/6 minus 1 1/3, okay? Notice that when I rewrote this out on the paper, I wrote it vertically because it's so much easier to solve that way. I'm going to extend this line over, and I'll tell you this is one assignment that you may need more space than what you can get on the paper. If you write it on the paper, you're going to have to write very small and neatly so that it can be read. If you are one who likes more space, you're probably going to want to rewrite this on a piece of lined paper to make sure you have lots of room and everything. Okay? Now, remember we did a lesson last week that was with renaming mixed numbers and changing them to be improper fractions, and I told you there's sometimes we need to do that in order to do it another process, and that's one thing. This is one example of that. I can't add these as they are. I'm going to have to change the denominators, but I'm going to show you how you need to do these problems in order to be able to always make sure you know how to do them right, okay? There's some of them can be tricky, but if you follow the way I'm showing you, you'll always be able to solve them. Let's turn this into an improper fraction. Do you remember how we'd go this number times this number plus that number, and we write that there, and then we put it over the same denominator as before. So 6 times 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17, and we put it over 6 because same denominator, okay? For this one, we go 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, and we put it over 3 because that's the same denominator. Now we can almost work with these, but we need to get the same denominator. So we're going to have to add one more set of equal signs and fraction bars. And now we're going to do what we did yesterday. We need to get the same denominator. So I asked myself, what is the least common denominator? The smallest number that I can divide both 3 and 6 into evenly with nothing left over. And the answer to that is 6. So this one stays 17/6. But this one, I'm going to ask myself, what do I multiply 3 by to get 6? I multiply it by 2. So I multiply the top by 2 as well. 4 times 2 is 8. Now I can subtract, because remember this was a subtraction problem. 17/6 minus 8/6 equals 9/6. Not quite done yet because that's an improper fraction. I have to turn it back into being a mixed number. 6 goes into 9 one time. I have 3 left over. So the answer is 1 3/6. Guess what? I'm not done yet because that is not reduced. 3/6 equals 1/2 because I can divide both the top and the bottom by 2 and end up with 1/2 as the answer. So there's quite a bit of work that goes into these, you can see, to be able to solve them, okay? Now, the reality is there are some of the problems on your paper that you could skip this middle step here. You could change this, you could leave this 2 and 5/6 and make this one 1 and 2/6 and go ahead and subtract. But there are some you won't be able to do that with. So This is my safe way of showing you how to do it. If you do it this way, you'll always end up correct in knowing how to do it, okay? So you have, on your reteaching page, you have 8 problems to do on there of these. You have 4 problems that are some to really think about. You're gonna have to figure out what n is. So I wanna do 9 with you, okay? 9 asks you 3 1/2 plus n equals 5. So if we want to solve for n, think about if this was just a plain number. If it was 3, is that plus or times? Plus. I didn't write that very neatly. I can't even read my writing. 3 plus n equals 5. Do you see how we'd go 5 minus 3 equals n? So down here we're going to go 5 minus 3 1/2. 5 minus 3 1/2. Okay? So let's turn this into an improper fraction. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So that's 7/2. So 3 1/2 equals 7/2. And we want to take 7/2 away from our 5. So we have to change 5 into halves. So 5 equals 10/2. Okay? Because think about this. I could change that 5 to be 5 over 1. We have a denominator of 2. So 1 times 2 equals 2. So 5 times 2 equals 10. See how we got that? So now I can subtract 10/2 minus 7/2 equals 3/2, which equals, when I turn that back into a mixed number, 2 goes into 3 once with 1 left over. So 1 1/2. So n equals 1 1/2. That is the answer to number 9. Okay? You're going to do 10, 11, and 12, just like it. Okay? All right, second part of your assignment is the practice page. You did the reteaching, now the practice. By the way, on this practice page, the mixed review, you don't have to do. It is extra credit, okay? So you don't have to do the mixed review, but you need to do the whole page of these addition or subtraction problems. I want to show you something on here of why it's important to know how to do these different, the whole process of this, finding the improper fraction first. If you look at number 1, let's do number 1 together on the practice page. It says 3 1/4 minus 2 7/8. Okay, now, is 3 1/4 bigger than 2 7/8? Obviously it is, because we know this has a 3. But, which is bigger, 1/4 or 7/8? 7/8 is bigger, the one we're taking away. So this is why you can't just say, oh, 3 2/8 minus 2 7/8, because you can't take 7/8 from 2/8. Does that make sense to you? That's why we have to go through the whole process of changing it into an improper fraction first, and then solving for it. If you didn't catch that, don't worry, just do what I say. You'll figure it out eventually, okay? Here we go. We're going to make our nice little fraction bar. All right. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 more, 16, 17, 18, oh, plus 7 more. I don't know where I said 3 more. Okay, so 16 plus 7 more, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Counting on my fingers, I must be really tired. Okay, 23/8. This top fraction, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And we put it over 4. Okay? Something's not right there. 16, 3/8, yep. Oh, no, we're good. I told you I'm tired. It's showing up here. We're good. Okay, so here we go. We got to get the equivalent fractions with same denominators. What number will both 4 and 8 go into evenly? Hopefully you knew 8. There it is, 8 and 8. So this one stays 23/8. But what did I have to multiply 4 by to get 8? Hopefully you said times 2. 4 times 2 is 8, so 13 times 2 is 26. Can I take 23 away from 26? You bet I can. It is 3, and it's eighths that we're talking about. So my answer is 3/8. These are some hard problems we're doing here, but they're ones that's why we're doing extra practice, because it takes a while to learn this. You're gonna do awesome at it though. Call me if you have questions, because I'm more than happy to help you. And we could even do a Zoom meeting or FaceTime or something to talk if you need to be able to look at me doing it out, okay? So that is the way you're gonna do each one of the problems on the practice page here. Notice some are addition and some are subtraction. On the mixed review, that's optional for extra credit if you want to. You have to do 1 through 16 on there, okay? So plenty of problems to do to give you extra practice on adding and subtracting fractions that are mixed numbers and have different denominators. Woo, complicated, but you're gonna do awesome at it. Have fun. Let me know if you need help. Bye.